Alrighty folks, good evening. This is welcome to part 2 of my video forecast. And once again we're taking a look at the latest NAM. This is hot off the press, the 0Z NAM. Let's work it through. Watch the blue line right there. That is essentially the rain snow line. Watch that, and you can see that rain, that blue. It's hard because it's blending in with the blue, which is heavy precipitation, by the way. But it's lined up right across Richmond, or just southeast of Richmond. This is one of those classic situations you can see. Holy moly. Good googly moogly. Lining up right across Richmond. This rain snow line lining up right across Richmond. Classic setup. Your typical Richmond snow. You got that rain snow line from the warmer air coming in from the east, which is, you can see that easterly winds coming in with the slightly warmer waters of the Atlantic Ocean, filtering in some of that somewhat warmer air, more mild air, rather. I use warmer as a relative term. Pushing in some of that warmer air, forcing some of us to change over to a mix. But as you can see, that line begins to move back east, and you can see this wraparound back edge of the band. It's at the end of the comma head. We get some backlash heavy snows, and we're out of here. But okay, so here's the deal though. Okay, I feel pretty good about heavy snow being a good bet at onset and so on and so forth. However, and there's a possibility we might get some mix creeping into the area. We might get some mixing creeping into the area as we move on into the wee hours of Thursday morning. And then, but after that though, we'll change the snow. But temperatures, they might be above freezing, so there might not be a whole lot accumulating going on. However, if we're in that heavy band though, it'll keep those temperatures down, because since temperatures will be aloft, will be below freezing. You got that heavy precipitation that'll drag that below freezing air down to the surface. You get that that'll be dragging that below freezing air down to the surface. So that was just called dynamic cooling. So we'll have to see what happens here. It should be interesting. Generally, this model spits out around a foot of snow, which a little bit more on the higher end. Furthermore, which is generally a little bit more on the higher end. But I think this is definitely a little bit more reasonable than the 2 feet of snow that it showed back in the afternoon model runs. Now we're waiting on the 00Z GFS, and this is another American model. Pretty reliable as well this far out. Let's see where it's at. 24 hours. Nah. I don't know, maybe I should wait. This depends. I'll continue rambling though. But again though, this is going to be very crucial here, because we got, why don't I show you, give you a better illustration here. Give you an illustration here of what I'm talking about when it comes to the mix line, because this is going to be so crucial with the track, especially considering the track here, because maybe it'll waste away a little bit of time so those models can load. But you can see that little right offshore. You see those easterly winds? Let's go back a couple frames. See that line pushing north? See those winds coming off the Atlantic Ocean? These are more mild. That's some slightly more mild air, and that is causing those temperatures to warm up and moving that rain snow line a little bit further west. See that though? Yeah. But as the winds turn more northerly, you can see as winds turn more towards the north, come out of the north, you see the 0 degrees Celsius line move south and east of us, and we'll be in the snow. So we'll have to something that is really interesting. So we have to really keep a very keen eye on, very close eye on, because if we get sleet, if we get freezing rain, that's gonna crunch our toes just a bit. it's gonna kind of mess with our total. So it is very crucial, very, very crucial. But general snowfall amounts, I haven't posted my map out because I want to see a couple more monorails come in. But I'm generally thinking here in Midlothian, I'm generally thinking around the range of 8 or so inches. I think that sounds pretty fair assessment. 8 or so inches. Maybe as you head a little bit more so towards the east end, maybe 6 or 7 inches might be more likely. But maybe right around there. So generally 6 to 8, maybe up towards 9 or 10 as you head up towards Shore Pump. I could go up, could go down, because this is a very, very sensitive situation. I mean, if this tracks a little bit further east, you got to get more of those northerly winds, we stay snow. Even the slight 20 mile shift would keep Richmond as all snow. So definitely do keep that in mind. Do keep that in mind. But if it pushes further west, that'll push more of the rain snow line further west, and we might even see a change over the rain. That's if it does happen. But I think if any shift occurs, is very, very, very minimal. It's not really making that much of a difference, because I mean it's probably holding serve, if that. So I think we're having models coming into a very good agreement, though, that we'll see a pretty decent snowstorm. So that is the deal with that. Hold on. Now let's take a look at the GFS. Yeah, it's still waiting. So that's the deal with that. Well, folks, that is about it. So again, to recap, snow will be cranking. If you want to, here's the timing though. Here's what we do know. Snow will probably be cranking out somewhere between 4 and 6 o'clock. So probably close to the afternoon rush hour for Wednesday. And the snow, it was probably, if we're going to see a changeover, and it's going to be right around the wee hours of the morning. And right as that happens, though, the closer we are to this rain snow line, there could be some very heavy precipitation. So we could get some pretty nice snowfall rates going on in there. So, you know, the closer to this rain snow line you are, the heavier snow you're going to get. So, it is a very touchy situation. Very touchy situation. But if you're following us, maybe from Charlottesville, Farmville, DC, those areas, you gotta be feeling good about this situation, because I'm seeing a good amount, maybe upwards of a foot of snow, maybe a little bit more than that. We'll have to see. So, a really good situation if you live out there. Up towards the valley, Harrisonburg, you might be too far west to see substantial snows, but I'm thinking around the order of 5 to 7 inches or so, maybe a little higher than that, maybe 8. So we'll have to see what happens. But again, sensitive situation, especially for the Richmond metro area. Any slight shift can significantly change and alter our snowfall amounts. So this has a good potential of busting either way. So we'll have to see what happens here. I mean, it will see snow, but we might bust. There's a good potential of us busting on snowfall amounts, either in regards to being too low or being too high. So that's the deal with that. Alright guys, well folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be right back with another update tomorrow. Of course, I'll be very busy. I'll be at like a track meet all day, so but I'll probably be back with an update tomorrow evening, though, if that. Well, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening and get some sleep tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.